Man, remember when we hit y'all with that story about FBG Casino? Bro, I gotta hold on. I gotta read this to make sure that it's all the way right, because the amount of money, the amount of drug guys, you know what I'm saying, that Finney ball, bro. So remember, he got slammed by the feds out in Clayton County for 21 Ks of suspected Finney ball, over $380,000 in cash, drug processing equipment, damaged phones, even a Louis Vuitton wrapped brick. The case that had the internet on fire when we broke it to y'all, reading every damn thing. Well, it turns out, bro, the streets is talking, because Buddy just got bond. Take a listen. United States District Court, Northern District of Georgia, Atlanta Division, case number 125MJ1-01206 RDC, United States of America versus Rico Deville Buice, defendant. This matter is before the court on the United States motion for review of a release order by magistrate judge, motion docket number 7. The court held a hearing on the motion on December 2nd, 2025. After considering the evidence de novo, the court finds that defendant Rico Deville Buice rebutted the statutory presumption of detention. The court found that although the offense charge is very serious, the conditions imposed by Magistrate Judge J. Elizabeth Macbeth were sufficient to assure the appearance of the defendant and the safety of any person or the community. As to danger to the community, the court found that Mr. Buice does not have any prior convictions related to drug trafficking and had his sole confirmed felony conviction successfully discharged under the First Offender Act. Oh, okay. Footnote 1. Many of the entries on the pretrial services report were not related to Mr. Buice. Therefore, the parties were not sure of his criminal history. However, Mr. Buice did successfully complete 6 years of probation in his prior case, which supports a finding of compliance. Then page 2 says, in terms of flight risk, the court noted that Mr. Buice was a lifelong Georgia resident with significant family and community support. The court rejected the government's argument that Mr. Buice's initial attempt to flee from officers indicated that he would not appear as required. The court reasoned that despite the initial attempt to get away, Mr. Buice quickly followed the officer's commands and was placed under arrest with no issue. Furthermore, the fact that Mr. Buice successfully completed 6 years of probation demonstrated his ability to comply. For these reasons, as well as those stated at the hearing, the court agrees with Judge Macbeth's findings that the $100,000 bond secured by Mr. Buice's girlfriend's house, a requirement that Mr. Buice reside with his sister, who would serve as his custodian, and conditions of the home confinement with location monitor were sufficient to protect the community and assure Mr. Buice's appearance. The court grants in part and denies in part the United States motion. Order setting the conditions of release, document number 11, filed 12/2/2025. It is ordered that the defendant's release is subject to these conditions. 1, the defendant must not violate federal, state, local. The defendant must not violate federal, state, or local law while on release. 2, the defendant must cooperate in the collection of a DNA sample if authorized by 34 U.S.C. 40702. 3, the defendant must advise the court, the pretrial services office, or supervising officer in writing before making any change of residence or telephone number. 4, the defendant must appear in court as required and, if convicted, must surrender as directed to serve a sentence the court may impose. Additional standard conditions from pages 2 through 4 on the release order. The defendant must not possess a firearm, destructive device, or other dangerous weapon. The defendant must refrain from any unlawful use of controlled substances. The defendant must report to pretrial services as directed. The defendant must submit to a residential check and maintain contact with pretrial officers. Travel is restricted to the Northern District of Georgia unless permission is granted. The defendant must avoid contact with any victims, witnesses, or co-defendants. The defendant must undergo electronic monitoring or GPS monitor. The defendant is placed on home confinement restricted to residents at all times except for court, medical, legal, or other activities approved by pretrial services. The defendant must reside with the sister who is appointed as third-party custodian. The custodian must report any violation immediately. Failure to comply may result in revocation of release, a warrant for arrest, or additional charges. The defendant and the custodian both sign acknowledging understanding of these conditions. So please note real quick, there's no cooperation agreements, no proffer sessions, no 5K 1.1 motions, no Rule 35 letters, no confidential informant files, no sealed supplements, no debrief summaries, none of that. Just straight up bond. So there y'all have it. There y'all effing have it. I don't see no snitching. I don't see any of that actually in this because of what we said. But also the judge said de novo, meaning I'm going to look at this with a fresh pair of eyes. I'm not going to worry about what the previous judge said, what the other rulings and all that. We're going to just basically amp it up on this one. I don't know who the hell this lawyer is, but lawyer flames right now. I ain't going to hold you, bruh. So you have that. But here's the thing, right? Like, are you going to say because I wasn't in the house? I would only think the only way that he could beat this is if he says, I wasn't actually in the house. I actually didn't know anything about anything. Now, some people going to say, well, bro, hold on. That's the cartel, brother. You better be careful. He might look at it like, bro, listen, if I ain't get caught with nothing, I ain't get caught with nothing. I ain't saying no names. I don't even know nobody. I don't know nothing about none of that stuff. That depends on y'all. Some of y'all going to be like, no, bro, he shouldn't be saying anything. Well, he's not going to say it. His lawyer's going to basically fight it. And his lawyer's going to fight basically on the grounds of, obviously, him pleading not guilty. Once you plead not guilty, how do y'all feel about that? A lot of y'all, some of the arguments will be this. Well, he's not telling, but they're going to offer him the ability to tell. You're goddamn right. The feds are going to offer him the ability to go ahead and tell. But if you tell, remember this part, and this is the part where I keep on telling y'all, I don't understand telling unless you're going to walk out of jail scotch-free. Feds, that ain't happening. He'd have to take down the whole entire cartel. Like, he'd have to produce so many freaking phones, so many dots connected. He'd have to take down the biggest of the biggest. And right now, they watching this shit like, ayo, the cabron in the States, the cabron, the negrito in the United States, we can't talk to him, man. No talking to him, man. He gotta go, chico. No mas for him, no mas. So, they're not finna rock with him. Somebody gave him the drop, allegedly, and I don't even think that's how they meant it. But there's this thing that was said in that press conference, like, hey, yo, turn around, yo, turn around. We'll see. But there are people who are trying to connect this to Future in a way that I don't know. Because when it happened, I don't know if Future had Instagram, but they said Future deleted his IG. Yeah, bro, my brother just got arrested, fool. I'm not trying to hear none of y'all, especially from what he said, well, what he's alleged to have done, and all you cats said, Future, give your brother a job, Future do this, Future do that. Man, some of y'all know you could try to offer people the world and they'll settle for Montana. You know what I'm saying? You can try to offer people the whole entire world and they'll be comfortable just chilling in Cincinnati. With no disrespect to Cincinnati. Just talking shit. Just dropping a random city that I know. Shout out to y'all. But you don't know what Future may have offered his brother. His brother probably like, hell nah. No. Because what the hell is Future going to do? Or what is Future doing dealing in drugs with the amount of money that he sold his catalog for? The greatest rapper of all time out of Atlanta is broke. This burning now, we're moving too fast. I'm not seeing it, brother. I'm just not seeing it. Could FBG Casino snitch? Sure. But that means by him telling, he's going to do some time. He may look at it and go, shit, how much time is they offering if I told? 15 years? Shit. Not for to fight that. So I don't know, bro. But so far, there's no telling. None whatsoever. So if you're one of those bloggers who on here and you don't understand what you're not seeing, there's no cooperation at all. It's just a bond. And this is how you know he's not telling. The bond wasn't low. It was high as hell. 100,000 in somebody's house, his sisters. And some of y'all be, well, we don't really hear about people getting bond in the feds and all this shit. Well, this is the messed up part about this. The fact that he got in trouble before, completed 6 years of probation, and basically stayed clean, that's going to help him. Because it helped him today. Well, yesterday, technically. It helped him. It 100% helped him. Because he's able to be compliant while under the supervision of himself while reporting to the police. It is what it is, bro. I don't know what more y'all want me to say. I know y'all want to be, oh, no, he told, bro, or Future going down in the Rico. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And remember, this ain't a violent felony. This ain't none of this shit. None of that. And he's going to fight it. And I'm assuming, I don't know. I ain't talked to his lawyer. Don't know who the hell his lawyer is. Never spoke to him. I'm going to assume that he basically is going to be on some shit like, man, look, whenever the cops hit the house, we always run. I don't know what the hell was going on. Y'all could have been whoever. I'm not taking my chances. Once I realized it was the police on me, I stopped. I put my hands on the back of my head and I walked backwards. I did that because I realized you guys were actually the police. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm going with. I don't know about the rest of y'all. I don't know nothing about none of this shit, bro. Nothing. I didn't see anything. Now, obviously, he's not going to say that, but that's what his lawyer's going to say. Hey, you guys tested all the wrappings and all of this crap and everything? Yeah. Okay. Was my client's fingerprints on any of this stuff? No. Okay. Are you saying that my client can't walk around with big stacks of money on him? It's not common, but it's not illegal. At max, you guys can do a civil forfeiture until I pull out these pieces of paper and I show that this is where I got the money, these are the transactions, and I withdrew the money. I don't have to tell you why I was withdrawing the money. Hell, I was thinking about buying a house in this nice place in Clayco anyways. I was about to go get a car. They got to prove intent. They got to prove something, meaning the feds. So we shall see. But damn, Kel got a bond. He down there was looking at a life sentence. Y'all, let me know y'all thoughts. Am I full of shit? Did Future just pay me off? Am I free bands? Or are y'all going to actually err on the side of caution and say, let's just let this thing play out? Y'all know the internet don't do that. But click right here and see how, who the hell did I just do a video? I have no idea. Meek Millie, you contradictory asshole, liar. Click right here to see how Freak Millie just 100% lied. Or click right here for the playlist and get you through your day. I'll catch you on the next one.